and welcome to our brand new podcast, How They Funded It, a podcast brought to you in partnership with British Business Bank. In this series, we're hearing from some inspiring entrepreneurs who've raised the right kind of funding at the right time and used it to make some serious impact with their businesses. I'm Lesley Williams, and today I'm joined by Calum Hiscott, Director of Renewable Technologies at Wizard Eco. Wizard Eco secured growth funding through the Investment Fund for Wales, helping to secure Wizard Eco into a leading provider of government-backed energy efficiency upgrades. Today, the company delivers over 500 sustainable home retrofits every year, from full property upgrades to targeted insulation measures, supporting households across the UK to cut energy use and carbon emissions. Wizard Eco secured growth funding through the Investment Fund for Wales, helping scale Wizard Eco into a leading provider of government-backed energy efficiency upgrades. Today, the company delivers over 500 sustainable home retrofits every year, from full property upgrades to targeted insulation measures, supporting households across the UK to cut energy use and carbon emissions. We'll talk about how that capital injection helped unlock new commercial premises, expand delivery teams, and position Wizard Eco as a key provider under national schemes like Eco4 and GBIS. If you're building a green business and thinking about how to fuel its next stage of growth, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. So hi, Calum. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Lesley?
Great, lovely to have you here. So tell us in your own words, please explain Wizard Eco.
Yeah, so Wizard Eco was founded in 2022 by a group of 4 friends to undertake innovation and energy efficiency measures under the Eco4 scheme, which is an Ofgem backed scheme, and then delivered by the utility companies through installers such as ourselves to install measures such as solar PV, air source heat pumps, and various forms of insulation measures into households across the UK that require energy efficiency upgrades.
I see. So what inspired this?
What brought Wizard to it was an opportunity and a gap in the market to go in and be another renewable energy installer within the region. So Wales suffers horrendously from dated, inefficient properties. And there's an opportunity there for more installers to get into the market and really implement quality installations under a government scheme. So it's fully funded, and it's got all the red tape behind it to give homeowners the assurity that what they're having is safe and secure. They haven't had to pay for it, and they are going to have a warmer home as a result. So
what was the background of yourself and the rest of the team?
Yeah, so my background is 4 or 5 years in the renewable energy space itself, right across retrofit in residential properties through into new build properties, and then retrofit of commercial properties. So my position kind of sits really well within the business in terms of taking new technologies and implementing them. And then the team that are sat right behind Wizard is a combination of people from the construction industry with 15, 20 years in the construction industry, 10 or 15 years in the customer service and sales industry.
Okay.
So that gives us that customer service experience. We've got the construction for the project implementation. And then we've got some more senior directors who get to bring kind of the experience to the table in running and growing a stable business that can expand in the future.
Exciting, very exciting, a great skill set across you all. So what was the build up around the rationale for going for these funds? What was the story there?
Yeah, so I think like any business, you get to a scale and point where you've grown really nicely. Mm-hmm. You've got good revenue coming in, lots of jobs on the table, and there's that extra little bit that's needed to give you that boost into the next phase of your growth.
Yeah.
And that's where the funding from FW Capital really came in to help Wizard boost into that next phase where we can take on more qualified teams, more skilled labour, take on more labour that can be upskilled, and then grow the administration base across the office. Okay,
great. So where did you come across these funds? Was it recommended? Was it through networking or research?
Yeah, so we're quite lucky that the directors in the business have got a really good black book of contacts.
Nice.
Especially from the finance world, having been part of larger organisations in the past.
Sure.
Like any business, we've explored the various options that are available. So we've got high street banks that we've been to, you've got investor funding, the wide range of funding that you can go to and explore. Mm-hmm. And then through that exploration and that black book of contacts came out kind of like the Investment Fund for Wales. we're in a very cool space, a very young. Renewable technology has been around for a long time, but it's still a young space. And there's a lot of investment that's wanted to be put by organizations into renewable energy and companies that are harnessing renewable technology. And I think that really meets the agenda of the Investment Fund for Wales and FW Capital to put monies into a company such as Wizard Eco to fund staff-based growth, skilled employment growth, and then technology implementation growth.
So you explored other options then?
Yeah, explored all the other options, looked at probably the financing terms and repayment schedules, how that aligns with the cash flow of our business. And the industry we're in is a tricky one from a cash flow perspective. So finding and aligning with a fund that works in line with how we work is really crucial to make sure that it becomes affordable and scalable.
So let's talk about the impact of the funds then. So what did that mean to you in the business?
Yeah, it meant a lot to us as a business. So we've got a number of proposals that we put forward to FW Capital as to what we'd like to do with those monies. One was to create a renewable energy hub directly on our site for consumers to be able to come and visit and experience the various forms of renewable technology, how they look, how they feel, how they can interact with it. And then secondly was to grow our staff base to, as we said about before, increase in the skilled staff and then increasing the number of unskilled staff and upskilling them into roles that really cater for the renewable technology industry. So since achieving and obtaining that funding, we've taken on 2 teams of electricians. We've taken on a couple of roofers. We've been able to take on more within our administration base because we're submitting. We're very admin heavy. Okay. So right through from the pre-install, the middle of the install, after the installation, and then through to submitting all of our evidence up to the utility companies that we work with in order to be able to draw down that funding and pay for those jobs that we've undertaken, right?
So tell us about your experience of accessing the funding.
Yeah, okay. So obviously, we spoke about how we went to a number of high street banks to see what was available, came across FW Capital, and went through their process, which is, get online, fill out the application form, upload supporting documents, tell them a bit about the business. In the background, we're working on getting all of our financial information ready to be able to go through that. And then contact came in from FW Capital. And it was a real good customer experience from that point on. A real hand-holding experience in, does it suit what they're looking to fund? Is the business ready for it? Are we in a position where we can cover everything up until that point of where the funding comes in? And the answer to everything was yes. The support was really good, and we're able to progress the funding from there then.
So you're quite a young business. So tell us about your experience of fundraising considering that. Yeah,
so you go to a lot of high street banks, and as a young business, there's kind of some, especially when you're asking for £400,000 to invest in more people, some equipment, and potentially projects that don't give a straight capital return. There's some risk adversity, which we understand, and it's kind of it's not so much a convincing factor that needs to go on, but it's a trust us kind of factor. Came across FW Capital. All the hand holding all the way through was really, really good. And then I think there's the specific interest from a government organisation to want to go and invest in green and want to be seen to be back in those kind of companies. And that's where the two parties line up really well. So they work well for us because we got what we needed. And then we work well for them because it's the right kind of thing, morality to be invested in, because we're a company that's going to grow and keep implementing renewable into the UK.
You were basically now driving a business at scale with its environmental impact. So there's got to be a lot of big achievements and moments of wow in that whole journey. What's been the big moments that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I think big moments for us is it's a moral thing.
Yeah, okay.
So we're out there every single day knocking doors and trying to help people understand that they might be entitled to circa £50,000 to £80,000 worth of funding on their homes to install new technology to increase their energy efficiency and make them warm. Fuel poverty is a massive issue in the UK. Yes. You see that quite a lot. And the efficiency measures that we can put in not only protect those homes for the next 25, 50 years going into the future in terms of warmth and comfort and everything else, but it makes that person feel more secure in the home that they are living in.
Yeah.
So For us, there's a bit of a moral thing in there that every single day we're putting measures into place that help reduce people's bills and give them something back and stay warm. And then I guess on top of that, the retrofit side of our business is growing on a monthly basis into retrofitting into commercial environments. So not only are we delivering energy efficiency measures into residential areas, and we're putting them into commercial places, and increasing the energy efficiency of those buildings and decreasing ongoing running costs for businesses and charities and other types of organisations.
Fab, brilliant. So what's next?
What's next?
Hey.
Ooh. So undertaking, it's a big development on site. So we've got an old derelict building on site. The site that we bought had 2 derelict buildings. We converted one into the office space, so nice new swanky office space.
Lovely.
And the second one will go into a renewable energy hub. We don't have a full name for it yet, but there's a real desire from public and private sector for these kind of hubs to exist to allow people to explore what the technology is. So we've got a long road ahead of us in terms of completely renovating, re-roofing, everything involved with taking a derelict bungalow and turning it into the dream show home of what renewable energy can look like.
Sure. And do you think that you're going to be accessing funding again then in the future?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't.
Yeah, sure.
We will ultimately get to a point of our growth where we'll need something to get us to the next phase again. That might be internal and external. But if we have to go and source external funding again, there's no reason why FW Capital and Investment Fund for Wales won't be the first choice.
Nice. So you feel nice and confident towards that. That's brilliant.
Yes.
Lovely stuff. Okay, so for those at home watching this, what advice could you give them if they're just about to go on a similar journey as you've been on now? What piece of advice would you give them?
I think it would be seek support, ask as many questions as possible, make sure you understand your market and the reason why you're going for your funding, and then be confident. I think, that's one thing that we had to be really confident that what we were going to do with the monies that we requested, we could do. And we've proven our point that, we got the funds and we've been able to create circa 10 jobs off the back of that, 10 local jobs, carry on plowing money into the local economy. And we're in the middle of converting a derelict bungalow. So we're doing what we said we would. Just go and do it.
Yeah, definitely. Just go do it. Is there anything not to do?
No, just do it. Just do it. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so where can people learn a little bit more about Wizard Eco then?
Okay, cool. So actually, really exciting development. As part of our funding, we've been able to use some of that to bring in our first marketeer.
Oh, amazing.
So up until now, it's been a number of us in the office, putting out the odd social media post, working with external agencies, and trying to work out how to do all things marketing in-house, right? Which we're not experts at.
No, you can't be an expert at everything.
So now we've got a marketeer. We'll be driving the Wizard Eco message out far and wide through various forms of routes to market. But if people want to find out more, they can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, so any kind of form of social media, and see the work that we do. And then also head over to wizardeco.com, where we've got application forms. You can address your accessibility to funding straight away, or just give us a call. We've got a team of people in the office that will take a phone call and find out if you're eligible for funding. Nice.
And have you got a catchment area that you're particularly targeting at the moment?
The funding, importantly, is available all across the UK. So there's a few qualification bits of criteria, but any installer will be able to run through that with you, and our team are happy to do that.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
So a huge thank you to Calum from Wizard Eco for coming and joining us today. Wizard Eco is such a powerful example of how mission-driven businesses can leverage funding to create change, not just in homes, but in entire communities. To help you understand more about how funding like this works and whether it could help take your business to the next level, we're joined now by Jessica from British Business Bank.
The Investment Fund for Wales is increasing the supply and diversity of early stage finance for Welsh smaller businesses, providing funds to firms that might otherwise not receive investment, and to help break down those barriers to access finance. The fund operates in a commercially sustainable way and will deliver a £130 million commitment of new funding through investment strategies across Wales. The £130 million is broken down into sub-funds, smaller loans of £25,000 to £100,000 delivered by BCRS Loans, larger loans of £100,000 to £2 million delivered by FW Capital, and equity cheques of up to £5 million delivered by the Foresight Group. As small businesses grow, large injections of capital are often needed to move them to the next level. The Investment Fund for Wales Larger Debt Fund could help smaller business owners to deliver their business ambitions, including leasing new commercial premises, hiring a new team, maybe funding market costs, purchasing machinery, equipment, or launching a new product or service. Our debt finance option is designed for smaller companies that can demonstrate growth potential, and Wizard Eco demonstrates just that. If you're looking to scale a smaller business with an ambitious project, then head across to the British Business Bank's website to find out more.
And that's it. That's all we got time for this episode of How They Funded It. If you found it useful, give us a follow or share it with someone else who's building something exciting. Join us next time when we'll meet another incredible founder and explore yet another route of funding success.